Adarsh will say Jai Gurudev. Nilima ma'am can start.
Yeah, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev and a pleasant morning to one and all. I'm Nilima from SSRVM Bangalore East. I deem it my great honor to host today's program. With immense pleasure, I welcome our chairman of the trust, Commodore Harsha, for giving us this opportunity. On behalf of all the SSRVMs, I extend my hearty welcome to our beloved Ramaka, head of the Academic Council, our trustees and trust members for giving us this platform to enhance our learning. I also welcome all the principals, vice principals, academic heads, and teachers to this workshop on NEP 2020. Without any delay, let me introduce our speaker of the day, Mrs. Deepa Anand, who will be supported by Mrs. Aarti Dinesh, equally profound with academics and NEP, whom you all met virtually last week. Mrs. Deepa Anand, a graduate by qualification, has been associated with the field of education for over 16 years now. She also holds a bachelor degree in education. Her innovative ideas to make classroom experience more productive by conducting lot of co-curricular activities in secondary level has led to her growth to the position of a coordinator, and presently she serves as the academic head in SSRVM Bangalore East. Her inspiring personality, she has encouraged professional behavior among the students in letting them hold certain positions of authority and responsibility like cabinet minister election. She has ensured that appropriate questioning strategies are initiated to trigger the scientific and critical thinking among the students, opening the gates of learning and experience for other school students to present their skills in our campus. Example, Model United Nations. She has encouraged students to do community service and inspired them to take care of environment by involving them in many activities. To name a few, organized street plays in the nearby villages to educate people on Swachh Bharat, educated the blue-collar workers on World Literacy Day, donated the basic requirements in the nearby orphanages and old age homes, contributed relief materials to the flood-related areas. She has studied the new education policy, which was announced in July 2020 in depth and has made various presentations on NEP 2020 to a massive audience. She is an inspiring and effective leader with great communication skills. She is a great learner with strong learning ability. Her accomplishments also include organizing various mega CBSE events like zonal badminton, table tennis, yoga tournaments, and science exhibition. Her achievements: Best District Teacher Award for Science Olympiad Foundation. She is the recipient of Global Teacher Award 2019 in Delhi by AKS Education Awards. She has been conferred with the Best Teacher Award for being a digital innovator in education in 2019 and 20 by SSRVM Trust. Over to Deepa ma'am.
Thank you, Nilima ma'am. Namaste and Jai Gurudev to one and all. I express my gratitude to the chairman of the trust, Commodore Harsha. Also grateful to Ramaka, head of SSRVM Academic Council, trustees and trust members who have given me this platform to present my ideas. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to my beloved principal, Dr. Reshma Ganesh, for choosing me to present my learning to all. Before we begin, let us invoke the blessings of the divine. I invite our student Ananya to chant a small prayer.
I think she's not able to unmute. Can Adarsh help? I think she's not able to unmute.
Others
Yeah.
kindly mute the child.
Yeah, now they can.
Ananya.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विलम्बं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः.
Thank you, Ananya. Now let me start with my presentation without any delay. Just give me a moment. I'll share my screen. Hope you all can see my screen.
Yes, we can see, ma'am.
Yes. Jai Gurudev and welcome to the presentation of today, the National Education Policy 2020, that is NEP 2020, which was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29th July 2020. This outlines the vision of India's new education system. Here, in this, the policy is a comprehensive framework for elementary education to higher education, as well as vocational training in both rural and urban India. The policy aims to transform India's education system by 2030. The current 10+2 system in the school will be replaced by a new 5+3+3+4 curricular structure corresponding to ages 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 years respectively. Under the school curriculum, this new system will bring an uncovered age group of 3 to 6 years. As per the new policy, there will be 12 years of schooling with 3 years of preschooling. The new policy emphasizes on foundational literacy and numeracy. There will be no rigid separation between academic streams, extracurricular, occasional streams in schools. Now, let us see how this 10+2 structure is replaced with 5+3+3+4 model. It is implemented as follows. It is the foundational stage. This is further subdivided into two parts. 3 years of preschool followed by class 1 and class 2 in primary school. This will cover children of age group 3 to 8 years. The focus of studies will be multi-level, play and activity-based learning. Next comes the preparatory stage, that is class 3 to 5, which will cover the ages of 8 to 11 years. The focus will be play, activity, and discovery-based interactive classroom learning. When we come to middle stage, that is 6th to 8th, this is covering children between 11 to 14 years. It will introduce students to more abstract concepts in subjects of mathematics, science, social science, arts, and humanities. Students have to sit for exams only in class 3, 5, and 8 instead of the yearly exam module. Mother tongue or local language is to be the medium of instruction for all schools up to class 5 and is recommended till class 8. A holistic approach to teaching is being emphasized upon so that the prevalent rote learning can be removed. This is the major idea of introducing this NEP. Every student will take a fun course during grade 6 to 8 that gives a hands-on experience of vocational crafts such as carpentry, electric work, metal work, gardening, pottery making, etc. A practice based curriculum for grade 6 to 8 will be appropriately designed by NCRT. All students can participate in a 10-day bagless period sometime during 6 to 8, where they intern with local occasional experts such as carpenters, gardeners, potters, artists, etc. Similarly, internship opportunities to learn occasional subjects may be available to students throughout 6th to 12th standard, including holiday periods. Occasional courses through online mode will also be made available. These bagless days will be encouraged throughout the year for various types of enrichment activities involving art, quiz, sports, occasional crafts. Children will be given periodic exposure to activities outside the school also, like visiting to places or monuments of historical culture and tourist importance will be given. Also, meeting local artists and craftsmen. When it comes to secondary stage, class 9 to 12, covering the ages of 14 to 19 years, it is again subdivided into two parts where class 9 and 10 covering the first phase while class 11 and 12 covering the second phase. These 4 years of study are intended to inculcate multidisciplinary study coupled with depth and critical thinking. Multiple options of subjects will be provided. Students will get more flexibility to pursue an education they are interested in instead of studying in rigid curriculum. With the right amount of counseling and holistic learning at this stage, students can have their fair idea of what their aspirations from career and life are. It actually shows their own interest. They can choose of their own interest. The policy aims to make future generation of India better skilled in fields of their choice by offering a universalized and holistic learning environment. The vision of NEP 2020 is an education system rooted in the Indian ethos, directly to transforming, and that is in Bharat, which is the sustainable, it is equitable, and also the knowledge in the society, the high quality education to all Indians, thereby making a knowledge power, which has to be a super knowledge power generation in future. The curriculum and pedagogy of our institutions must develop a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties and constitutional values bonding with one's country and a conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibilities in a changing world. Education should be holistic, integrated, and multidisciplinary. The main focus is recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities like critical thinking, life skills, empathy, courage, respect for others by sensitizing teachers as well as parents to promote each student's holistic development in both academic and the non-academic spheres. The main objectives of NEP are restructuring school curriculum and pedagogy in a new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 design, holistic development of learners, reduce curriculum content to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. Experiential learning empowers students through flexibility in course choices, multilingualism, and the power of language. Curricular integration of essential subjects, skills, and capacities, national curriculum framework for school education, national textbooks with local content and flavor, transforming assessment for student development, support for gifted students or students with special talents. And also in the secondary stage, we have experiential inquiry based, discovery based, analysis based. Next, coming to the development of skills in language, development of numeracy skills and its application, development of cognitive abilities, physical and motor development skills, health and nutrition, social and emotional development skills, arts and cultural development, cross curriculum, cooperative and collaborative learning, and then coming to 360-degree assessment. As a facilitator, what is our responsibility in the class? We initiate the learning process. We initiate the learning process in which way and how? Yes, a teacher gives an activity or a task to do that students can relate to real life. They do the task in small groups, sometimes different groups do different tasks, but when each group makes presentation in the class through PowerPoint or quiz or charts, role play, etc., each one will acquire clarity on the topics and the information is retained. Well, did you know that this form of pedagogy or method of teaching and learning has a name? Yes, all these things are there in our NEP right now. We call it as joyful learning, art integrated learning, activity based learning, fun, games and studies, sports integrated learning, inquiry based learning, collaborative learning, assessment as learning, and learning by doing. All these things comes under experiential learning. Experiential approach aims at making the education environment student centered. What is this experiential learning? When the child is experiencing, the child experiences in doing an activity. The students have control over their own learning, over the pace of learning, method of learning, and over the skills they need to utilize for this learning. They are able to evaluate, think critically, make their own decisions, and master knowledge by constructing it. The teacher facilitates or guides the students. Learning experience may be cooperative, collaborative, or independent. So, encouraging the students to work together and learn to question and evaluate evidence rather than accepting truths communicated by their teacher. Instead, they experience it and they learn it. There are so many benefits of this experiential learning. Few are: it accelerates learning in students. It bridges the gap between theory and practice. By moving beyond theory to the realm of learning by doing, the trainee gets a first hand experience of practicing what has been taught. This plays a crucial role in retaining concepts and ideas. It also enables personalized training. It increases engagement levels of also students. Students are full-time engaged when they are doing something. So here we have few activities that we had done in our school during this online sessions in the academic year 2021. Few activities I have shown here in the PPT. Multiple reflection of light is the reflection of light back and forth several times between reflecting surfaces. If a reflected light ray is reflected again on being incident on another surface, it is termed to be multiple reflections. When we orally tell this to students, they just listen to it, but make it experiential. Students are asked to make multiple reflections of an object by keeping two mirrors. Mirrors are available at home. Each and every child can do this on their own. So they are asked to make multiple reflections of an object by keeping two mirrors at different angles and observe the number of images formed at different angles. The same way, pinhole camera. A pinhole camera is a simple camera without a lens, but with a tiny aperture. Effectively, a light-proof box with a small hole in one side. Light from the scene passes through the aperture and projects as an inverted image on the opposite side of the box, which is known as camera obscura effects. Students were asked to make a model of pinhole camera and experience it on their own. The same way, this experiment was conducted to study and compare the growth of bread mold under various conditions like moisture, warm temperature, and humidity. So they have observed what happens when a bread piece is kept and it is under different conditions. To give them an insight of convection in gases, students were asked to make convection box by using old cardboard, transparent sheet and candle and an incense stick. Again, all these things are available at home. As instructed, students were asked to check the flow of smoke during the process. Students concluded with the help of this activity that when a gas is heated, it expands. As a result, the gas becomes lighter and move upward. The activity helped students to understand the concept of convection. We also had another activity. We had asked children to collect items from their house which have mineral content. Example, tawa is made up of iron, floor made up of marble or granite. Students were required to find household items with specific mineral content and uploaded the pictures on basis of this along with the mineral content and written about it. The motive of this activity is to make them understand the uses of rocks and minerals in our daily life, which they enjoyed like anything. And next, coming to the paper folding activity. Paper folding activity was done to represent the line segments perpendiculars. In this activity, students also used origami paper or a normal paper, and through folding they were able to identify the perpendicular lines to find the sum of decimal numbers using paper strips and grids. In this activity, students convert the decimal numbers into like decimals. Shade the decimal numbers in 10 into 10 grid. Students learn to add the decimal numbers. Then coming to the next activity, what was done? This was done to compare the properties, that is water absorbing and drying ability of synthetic and natural fibers. To give them an insight to the different properties, the students were required to take any 4 different samples, natural and synthetic fibers of equal length. These samples were dipped in water to check their absorbency. Then they allowed to dry to check how fast they dried and record their observations. Students can draw the inference based on the observations. This activity helped them to put the concept into action. It is very important to be a good listener. If one wants to become a speaker, listening and reading are known as receptive skills, while speaking and writing are known as productive skills. In a classroom, there may be some students who are very good at listening, some may be good at speaking, some at reading, and others at writing. When the 4 skills are tested independently, the integrated purpose of language learning will be fulfilled. Each student will understand in which skill he excels and in which one she or he requires improvement. SSRVM BE believes in a holistic progress of students and are imbibing various modes of teaching and learning practices in an innovative way. One among them is story pedagogy. Storytelling can be used as a method to teach ethics, values, cultural norms, and differences. To enhance the oral value and motivate students, student story pedagogy has been adapted as a new and effective tool of teaching. Storytelling is a means for sharing and interpreting experiences. Such experiences were shared with students by narrating many anecdotes that took place in the life of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, who lets no obstacle prevent him from pursuing the values he has chosen. He is a global leader with immense confidence and determination. His simple motivational narrations encourage all to remain focused, which he highlights through Man Ki Baat, realistic values like stick to your dreams, work for meaning, not for money, observe others and learn, focus for one thing, and many more practical and convincing principles were addressed to guide the youth to become upright global citizens. Enriched by listening, such practical and virtuous experiences, our students of today definitely gets a vision to follow their pursuit in right direction. And we also had a few inspiring stories of Swami Vivekananda. Marking the memory of Swami Vivekananda's birth anniversary, details about Swami Vivekananda's life history and his significant contribution towards the country and the youth was presented by the teachers. Motivational stories and proverbs of Sri Vivekananda were also shared with students. Speaking. Coming to speaking. Speaking is the next step in a kid's language development journey. They learn and correct pronunciations. They learn the correct pronunciations, expressions, and sentence formations while learning how to speak a language. We should encourage the child to speak up and provide opportunities for public speaking. They should be given platform to express their views in verbal form. Always allow children to speak out. As a teacher, it is our responsibility to listen to students. And coming to speaking skills activity, we had few activities that were conducted online. Some of the activities for developing speaking skills. Children participated in different activities like show and tell, the end game. In show and tell, participants brought an item which was close to them and spoke about why it is close to their hearts. This activity helped students to open up. The same way, we also had another activity called the end game. It was an activity in which an animated video was shown and paused a little before the end. This would enhance the critical thinking and creativity of participants of the club. All these activities enabled children to think creatively and come up with new dimensional thought process. In this activity, for the one particular story or the one particular event which was shown, I mean the one particular animated video which was shown, we had different conclusions. Each child came up with their own ideas. This is again was our speaking skills activity. This activity was given to students to speak about, and there was a debate also which was conducted. And during these debates, we can see that the confidence level of the students will increase, and they also, we also allow them to communicate effectively. And few more activities were conducted, and many more debate competitions were also conducted, and the topic for the debate competition that was given to students was good versus evil, with reference to Ravana, to boost their confidence and remove the fear of speaking in public and to develop the critical thinking skills. And the students actively participated in this debate, and it helped them to develop their develop their self-confidence, the way they spoke, and all these things during this debate competition. Next, coming to the listening skills. We always give them the full attention when they speak also. This develops the trust and makes children to express. And when it comes to listening skills, listening and speaking skills are to be assessed on the following parameters: interactive competence, initiation and turn talking, relevance to the topic, the fluency, the way they speak, the pronunciation, the language, to promote listening and speaking skills. Many activities were conducted, and they also had some role play, dramatization and miming using language games, riddles, puzzles, and jokes, interpreting pictures, sketches, cartoons, debating and discussing, narrating and discussing stories, and reciting poems. Coming to the writing skills, we had several activities that were conducted for writing skills, and a few activities that were done online where students were asked to build a story based on tense suggested by the teacher, and each student came up with one sentence, and finally a story was built. Main aim of the activity was to learn the usage of tenses. Students participated enthusiastically, and finally a creative story came out. Paragraph writing on future school was given. Students were asked to assume a character called Rohit, who with the help of a time machine would have landed into a year 2050. And students were asked to interpret the situation, considering that they receive a robotic call which happened to be from his teacher at home. So the child had to imagine that he had landed up using a time machine to 2050, and in 2050 how was the setup of a school, how it was technically advanced, because right now in 2020 we know how technically we are advanced. So the child had to think critically and give us the report. And we also had English activity that was based on a poem called The Squirrel. Students were asked to draw a picture of any animal, bird, or a reptile of their choice and frame a poem of their own on it. Poem need to be the original one, not copied from anywhere, but students really did it. They wrote poems on a dog, squirrel, peacock, and all these things were done during writing skills activity. Students participated with great enthusiasm. English activity was based on, and there was one more activity which was based on the chapter called Gopal and Hilsa Fish. Students were asked to make a comic strip on incidents based on any of their routine. The same way here we can see the activities that were conducted for writing skills. And we also have exclusive competitions like essay writing, elocution, etc. were conducted by the literature club at SSRVM. Active participation was seen amongst the students. Now I request Aarti ma'am to talk about the numeracy development.
Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Coming to numeracy development, mathematics is the gateway and key to all sciences. Am I right? So last week we saw how numeracy development is important in foundational stage and preparatory stage. Now it is equally important in higher grades also. Children need to recognize that mathematics is constantly used outside the mathematics classroom. So how they can recognize that? They should be given opportunities to transfer their knowledge and skills to context outside the mathematics classroom. So numeracy development is an essential component of learning areas across the curriculum. So what the teachers should do? The teachers should identify the specific numeracy demands of their learning area. They should provide learning experiences and opportunities that support the application of this knowledge, mathematical knowledge and skills. So let us take an example in physics. In physics, we all know that Quantitative measurements and manipulations are very, very essential for understanding physics, isn't it? When we teach them, we generally say, for example, light changes its direction in going from a rarer to denser medium or from denser to rarer medium. How do we teach this? Teaching these mere facts without explaining how maths play an important role is meaningless. This concept is related to trigonometry. How? See, actually, when we see this light changes its direction in going from rarer to denser medium, we talk about Snell's law. Let me not get into the concept deeply. See, according to Snell's law, it says the ratio of refractive index of both the mediums is equal to the ratio of the sine of the angle created by the ray in both the mediums. Yes. So here trigonometry plays a role. So unless the child knows the applications of maths, the child will not be able to understand the concept. Correct? Similarly, if you see in chemistry, all chemical combinations are governed by certain mathematical laws. We say in chemical compounds, the elements are combined in a definite ratio. In chemical reactions, if you see the chemical equations, when we balance, we are balancing the number of atoms on either side of the equation. Then structure of an atom, atomic weight, valencies, everything is based on mathematics. The amount of heat generated also when we do a chemical reaction, we say heat it to this particular degree. So that is also based on mathematics. Not only in physics, chemistry, it also plays an important role in the development of biological sciences. For example, the bacterial growth, it is expressed as an exponential function. Statistical methods, techniques, which are widely used for analyzing problems are related to physiology, metabolism, genetics. So if you see in engineering area also, mathematics is used. Probability theory, it is another area with profound applications to engineering problems. Then coming to history and geography, that is also correlated to maths. Maths helps us in calculating the dates and days of various historical events, and in predicting the future based on the past events. It also helps in drawing maps to the scale and locating the distance between places. And it also provides the basis for computing the longitude and latitude, predicting the weather conditions and climatic changes, and planning accordingly the transportation system and so on. So maths has got its foot in every field. Next slide, Deepama. Students have done so many activities in our school. Here they have made different types of triangles using matchsticks. They verified that sum of the angles is 180 degrees and the sum of two sides of the triangle is greater than the third side. So students made different patterns using line segments, letters, etc. And they also found the algebraic expression for the same. In order to familiarize addition of integers, we did an activity on addition wall, which was given to the students. To build the addition wall, students need to get the value of each brick by adding the integers in the lower bricks. So by this activity, they concluded about the rules of addition of integers by building the wall. The activity was very interesting for students and they enjoyed doing it. In coordinate geometry, they were asked to draw a creative art from the coordinate points in a graph paper. The students will definitely get a practice of plotting these points. And they will also develop a geometrical intuition for coordinate axis by plotting various ordered pairs of points on the graph. A famous mathematician once said, "Mathematics is the most beautiful and most powerful creation of the human spirit." Mathematics is the only subject which shows the problems as solutions. So to celebrate the spirit of mathematical learning, to experience a joy, and to explore various mathematical concepts, Math Day was celebrated virtually in our school. Renowned chief guest, Dr. Venkata Subburao, was invited to make this session a memorable one. The chief guest entertained students and teachers through many activities and interesting facts about maths. He also gave a maths puzzle for all of us to solve, and where the teachers and students worked out together to get the solution. Coming to the cognitive skill development. So the cognitive skill development in children, like what we saw from last week, it involves a progressive building of learning skills such as attention, memory, and thinking. It means, what is cognitive skill development? It is nothing but how the children think, explore, and figure out. So let me not get into the activities. Let me say how we should plan a lesson, how the teacher should plan a lesson to build the cognitive skill. So before planning a lesson, the teacher must have all these points in her mind. The first point is checking the prior knowledge of the children. After doing this, we should sparkle the curiosity in the class. How? The teacher, definitely she should be creative. The teacher should think how the lesson can be introduced to create interest and stimulate learners' curiosity. And to provide the best experience for children, what experiential learning strategies can we use in the lesson plan to achieve the lesson objectives? And how, in what format can the students record or document their observations from the experiential task or activities given by us? Next, coming to the conceptualization. How can the facilitator assimilate the key aspects of learning from the inferences drawn by the students? How the lesson can be linked to real life incidents, situations to make learning more meaningful. After doing all this, we always do the extended learning for the children. How can, as a teacher, we provide opportunities to reflect on the experience in terms of real life application? How can the facilitator check and ensure that learners have understood, they have got this constructed knowledge, and how we have achieved the learning objectives? So after the lesson is taught, always the teacher should have a post-lesson reflection. What changes or problems we faced while planning and implementing the lesson plan? So we all know CBSE has given us this learning outcomes. The learning outcomes approach is developed by NCERT for all classes 6 and above, and it is enclosed with each subject. So it should be adopted by all schools, and the teaching learning process can be changed based on these outcomes. So the schools should have well-defined learning objectives for every grade, which is observable and measurable. And we should also empower our students to focus on mastery of skills and knowledge. And if you see, CBSE has also mapped every learning outcome with assessment to enable the tracking of learning purpose, learning progress. And the resources are available in our website, CBSE website, in the form of teachers' energized resource material. And specific lesson plans are also given. Specific lesson plans for the topics must be prepared by the teachers. Few sample lesson plans are also given in the website. So the lesson plan should have all these following parts: learning outcomes, pedagogical strategies, then group activities, experiments, hands-on learning. All these activities should be based on 21st century skills. We should have interdisciplinary linkages in the lesson plan, infusion of life skills, values, and the feedback, and what remedial teaching plan we are going to have in hand in case if our particular teaching style is not going to work out. So the lesson plan should have a remedial teaching plan also. So if the lesson is planned in this way, automatically the cognitive development happens. And as I told in the last week, STREAM is a very important part. It is hands-on activities which introduces students to science, technology, engineering, and maths. So here, if you see, when the child is given an activity, it experiences, the children experience guided inquiry. So when they do a STREAM activity, they ask questions, they find answers, they apply what they learn, and they also problem solve creatively. During this process, they exchange the ideas with other children, they discuss ways, they learn how to help each other and figure out how to use their strengths and skills. So definitely it is engaging for children, it is interesting for children, and it inspires them to learn more. So some of the activities which we did during our science exhibition: children presented with confidence in the online platform. Coming to the physical development skills, it is said that the health is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. So physical fitness is definitely necessary to maintain a proper balance between the body and mind. This becomes even more important due to the current situation, pandemic we are in. Keeping this in mind, our PE teachers made sure that our students are exercising regularly. to put even more emphasis on physical fitness for a healthy lifestyle, they have sent, PE teachers have sent recorded videos of the exercises. So this helped the students with following the instructions and doing the exercises. And physical education teacher should also maintain a record of all the health and physical education activities, competitions that the child is participating. So the comprehensive school health manuals are given by CBSE that could be referred for detailed information. The graded activities for each class is also given, which could also be taken up as a part of curriculum in our school. So as you are aware, with a view to achieve this of mass participation and achieving excellence in sports, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports implemented this Khelo India. We all know it's a national program for development of sports. So Khelo India mobile application has been developed by Sports Authority of India to assess the physical fitness of school-going children across the country. Based on this, we conducted few activities, and which we have also uploaded in the app, the video of those activities. Coming to the health and nutrition, the school must ensure that children avoid the intake of junk food, and we should ban it around the school premises. We always promote in SSRVMs, we always encourage children to bring healthy food. Intake of healthy food should be encouraged with activities, which is also described in circular issued by CBSE. Few activities which we did in our school as a part of culinary ecology club activity. We did growing nutritious microgreens, where students were asked to grow microgreens at home. What is that microgreens? It needs only little space to grow. They are small plants in the next stage of sprouting. So when the first leaves develop from the seed. So these superfoods, we all know it's packed with nutrition as it has abundant amount of vitamin C, E and antioxidants. So what is the objective of doing this activity? Students become aware about this nutritional value of this microgreens, and also it enhances their gardening expertise. It is a fun activity. It becomes a fun activity for them because they are doing right from sowing the seeds to harvesting the produce. And they also learn to value the nature and Mother Earth. So this was done in our school, growing microgreens. The next activity which we did was a sprout salad. This was also done to promote healthy eating. This was also a part of our culinary club activity. Next slide, Deepa. We also did this tricolor salad baking. The students presented a tricolor salad comprising of orange, white, and green fruits and vegetables. So it also gave a nationalistic touch for them, and it also had a lot of health and essential nutrients needed by our body for our healthy mind and as well as the health aspect of our body. So we all know health is wealth. So keeping this as a motto, the session on good health practices was conducted. Dr. Seema Pradeep conducted the session on good health practices. Coming to the arts and cultural development, the promotion of Indian arts and culture is important not only for the nation but also for the individual. Cultural awareness and expression are the major competencies considered important to develop in children in order to provide them with a sense of identity, belonging, as well as an appreciation for other cultures and identities. So keeping this in mind, our school always celebrates all national as well as regional festivals with great pomp and fervor. So it is an important aspect in our school. It's an integral part of learning, and it builds strong cultural beliefs. So such celebrations, it brings the students closer to each other's traditions and cultural beliefs, and they develop respect and understanding for each other's customs and traditions. Few celebrations which we did in our school: Independence Day, then Onam celebration. All the celebrations were done online, and also Krishna Janmashtami. And we also celebrated Karnataka Rajyotsava Day. Speech on significance of Karnataka Rajyotsava was delivered by both students and teachers. Then we did cultural programs like dance performance, fancy dress show, highlighting the rich culture and heritage of Karnataka. All this were performed by our students. And our upcoming generation should also know the importance of patriotism. To make them aware, Captain Pavan Kumar from Army was invited as a chief guest. He shared his life experiences with the students. We also did virtual Diwali celebration, which was a fun-filled activity at SSRVM. Various activities were done online, like Toran making, Diya painting, lantern making, and Rangoli, which will make them get the feel of the festival. Special assembly was conducted for Diwali celebration, where dance and music added to the fun. Students also got the chance to share their views to celebrate Diwali in an eco-friendly way. So teachers encouraged the students to celebrate Diwali with diyas, candles, and sweets, and educated them to avoid bursting crackers, which we do every year, as crackers harm our environment. So students were encouraged to use earthen diyas or oil lamps to empower the potters of our country. So through this Diwali celebration, it was, though it was virtual, it was very effective, as we had conveyed the message to the students. And coming to the arts and cultural development, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat campaign had been launched by CBSE to promote cultural unity among the various states of the country. As we know, CBSE has paired two different states, for which Karnataka has been paired with Uttarakhand. So the objective of this program is to showcase the rich culture and heritage of these states, thereby enhancing the understanding and bonding between the states. So we did activity based on that. So find out about, we know Karnataka is known for its diverse culture. Similarly, students have to find out about the culture of Uttarakhand. So in this activity, students learned about the variations in culture, the lifestyle of the people, social pattern of Uttarakhand. They researched about various monuments, heritage places, of which they had made a collage and written about the Karnataka and Uttarakhand. They have also explored the dance forms of two different states and the music also, which they had portrayed in their own way, in their own manner. And this definitely will help them to know the importance of national integration, and thus their contribution towards, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat is definitely amazing. They have done very good activities. And the objective of this heritage quiz is to encourage students to look beyond their textual knowledge and establish a relation between theory and application of the learned concepts, to reinvent the education system and to give students a break from online classroom learning. Definitely, we have to revive the quiz culture in schools. So, and technology, it definitely acts as a facilitator by bringing innovation to quizzes and to encourage active participation. This time, we have used technology to the fullest extent. We introduced, to make it very interesting, we introduced quiz in the form of Kaun Banega Crorepati format, with options like 50-50, audience poll, phone a friend. So overall 30 questions were asked, and students have interacted actively to gain knowledge, and they all excelled. These opportunities are given for them to excel beyond academics. Some traditions of the Indian dance forms are practiced in the whole Indian subcontinent. We all know that. So Indian mythology plays a significant part in dance forms of countries in Southeast Asia. So to emphasize the origin of Indian dance forms, Natya Shastras, and its integrated ritual with performing arts, students performed various classical, folk, and tribal dance. Each dance had the traces of emergence from Indian tradition. It is from epics, the mythology of different parts of the country. So children enjoyed doing all this in the online platform. Coming to the art integration. So as I said, why art integration learning is art integrated learning is very, very important, because we should always make the teaching and learning process more joyful. And this is the best way to implement our learning outcomes. And according to CBSE, we all know that we have to follow competency-based education. So this helps us to follow that. And this competency-based education, it can be implemented through innovative and joyful experiential pedagogies, which is given by NEP. We all know this art integrated, sport integrated learning, storytelling. It all promotes critical thinking, creativity, reflection, initiation. So other 21st century skills also. So all these activities are done to make students 21st century ready citizens. They should be motivated. We should make them to understand, analyze, and innovate various real life situations that they require to face in the world beyond the classrooms, beyond our homes. So we should really make them analyze all these situations and how they will be able to face the world outside. So children, this is another activity which was done. Children had to do a dish from Uttarakhand and Karnataka using the same ingredients. The ingredients were same, but they had to do two different dishes, one from Uttarakhand and one from Karnataka. So we had done this activity in the online class. And also we have integrated with English, where students were asked to draw a scenery on the topic beauty as they feel, which was based on the poem Beauty. So they came out with beautiful and colorful sceneries. We all know beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So with this activity, they imagined nature's beauty very closely. So these are the pictures of our students who have done this, who have drawn the scenery. They had also learned a new form of art, which is called Madhubani paintings. The themes of these paintings are based on nature and mythological events. We all know this Madhubani paintings. It is done with fingers, twigs, brushes, nib pens, matchsticks, using this natural dyes and pigments. We want children also to explore this. So students made these paintings of fish, cock, peacock using those pencils, color pencils and sketch pens. It was very, very interesting for the students, and they enjoyed this new form of art. And some of the activities done by our grade 12 students, it is a art integration, chemistry art integration, where they did ionic bond formation, and they have also created a storyboard based on that. Next slide, Deepa ma'am. This is also another activity where our grade 12 students had done about covalent bond formation. With this, I would request Deepa ma'am to take over and explain about cross curriculum.
Thank you, Aarti ma'am. So next, coming to the cross curriculum and the integrated learning. What is this cross curriculum? Cross curricular learning involves creating links between subjects. It offers a creative way of developing knowledge and captures students' imagination. Teachers should explore and find out how topics can intersect with other subjects. So it is like collaborating 2-3 subjects together. Collaborate to plan lesson plans and also projects that intersect multiple subject areas. For example, I can show you one example here to demonstrate how pressure is exerted by liquids. We know pressure increases with depth. Exert pressure on the sides or the walls of the container. Students can use old plastic bottle, balloons to make the model. When they do this model, they will know how to assemble all these things. At what height to make the hole in the bottle, how to fix the rubber sheet or the balloon, and above all, how to arrange the setup. The same activity can be integrated to maths. In maths, children are asked to calculate the pressure exerted by liquids using the formula P is equal to F by A. And also they can calculate volume of a liquid. The same activity can again be integrated with geography. How it can be integrated is they learn about the factors to be kept in mind while building a dam, because it is very important to have all these, to see all these aspects when they are constructing a dam. They can also use technology where students will be required to explain the civil engineering aspects with the help of PowerPoint presentation. So a particular topic can actually be integrated with different subjects. Next, coming to the cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is where the teacher or the facilitator divides the students into groups and they ask each other questions, research on the given topic, and learn from each other, while the teacher gives a proper direction to such discussions. This type of learning is easily blended with multidisciplinary type of teaching learning method. So this cooperative learning changes students and teachers' roles in classrooms. The ownership of teaching and learning is shared by groups of students and is no longer a sole responsibility of teacher. The teacher is just a cheerleader. She just guides the entire group how they have to work. Students have more opportunities to actively participate in their learning, question and challenge each other. They can question each other and they can challenge each other in the activity. They can share and discuss their ideas. When it is a group activity, they can share and they can also give their own inputs and internalize their learning. It has been proven to increase students' self-esteem and motivation and empathy during such activities, which is a group activity conducted in the class. And also the role play of Swadeshi and boycott movement. Students were asked to recreate a scene from various movements started during freedom struggle. This was a group activity and helped the students to work in team with each other's cooperation. Here, when they work in team, they discuss on that particular topic. They also come out with different ideas and they present it in a good way. And each one's contribution is evident in the activity. In schools, social emotional learning can help reduce bullying and disciplinary incidents. Students with strong social and emotional skills are better equipped to manage daily challenges and build positive relationship. How do we achieve this? How can we achieve this? Here, problem talk. As a facilitator, as a teacher, these are the major things that we have to do. Please speak to the child. Please ask the child, what is the problem? How does it make you feel? What would you like to happen? What do you need to do to change things? Just allow the child to speak and please listen to the child. Keep your ears open and please listen to the child, which is very, very important as a teacher. When your children desire to talk to you and share their problems with you, stop everything and listen to them. There is nothing more important than that. The same way, when it comes to peer pressure, children of this age group like to spend more time with friends and less time with family. So impact of the peer group is the strongest. They start to form an identity through hobbies, friends, school activities, etc. This influences on social media and hero worship are the common characteristics you can see in children as they grow. Now, how to deal with such situations? We do have school counselors and teachers also who can guide students and who can regularly orient students about dealing with peer pressure. How can you respond to negative peer pressure? The key to deal with negative peer pressure is self-confidence. Please speak to students, talk to students and tell them, be yourself, make your own decisions regardless of what others think. Listen to your gut. Learn to feel comfortable saying no. Hang with people who feel the same way you do. If a situation seems dangerous, don't hesitate to get an adult's help. Please speak to students and please inform them that they have to take some adult's help if the situation is dangerous or worst. To inculcate these, we do have few worksheets that are created and given it to students. Like we give them a scenario. We give them a scenario and ask them to fill this worksheet and write what is the consequence if they say yes and what is the consequence if they say no. So give a scenario in the form of a worksheet which will make them analyze and reflect By doing this worksheet, they can analyze that whether it is right to say yes or whether it is right to say no. Hero worshipping is a tendency of the adolescent age. The hero becomes the source of inspiration for children to aim for their future. For this reason, they should be encouraged to study biographies of great men so that they can shape their own life following the ideas of those great men. Motivate students to develop hobbies like playing sports, learning a musical instrument. It gives adolescents a healthy way to interact with peers. They spend more time in constructive and healthy activities instead of getting glued to social media. This will help them to take decisions whether to say yes or no. So social and emotional development, ethics and values, which is very important. Emotional development of students is taken care through doing Kriya every day. So Kriya is a part of our daily routine. And right now, COVID awareness pledge was also taken by students on regular basis. Counseling sessions with health and wellness officer, mental and well-being awareness also was done. And also we used to have few exercises or the Kriya part, and also the Utkarsh Yoga practice was going on. The school should focus on health and hygiene by adopting inclusive practices such as part of the policy. The school should adopt practices which will promote mental health in this direction. The school may follow the guidelines issued by the board on making the school a no anger zone or anger free zone. The board has also developed school health manuals which are available on the CBSE website. Coming to the health and wellness officer's discussions, our health and wellness officer discussed the current pandemic situation and its effect on students' learning. Students proactively discussed both advantages and disadvantages of online learning from their personal experience. Their personal experiences were so enriching. They thought deep into the topic and each point of view was worth the discussion. Students did observe a sense of self-responsibility inculcated by these digital platforms, where they make an effort to timely check the messages, due date of assignments, and notifications. They collectively agreed on being able to learn a lot of technology-related things, which they were unaware previously, like PowerPoint presentation, Microsoft Teams, etc. One of the students shared that they do miss copying in their school diaries from the blackboard. So these were the few experiences even which was shared by students. And our health and wellness officer had given them a self-reflective worksheet at the end of the session, and it was submitted back to us. So in these worksheets, we could actually find out what exactly the child was going through. So in few worksheets, we could see students had really opened up and put in their inputs. We also had poster making on the topic impact of inequality during times of COVID-19. Students need to make posters with catchy slogans to show the impact of inequality during the time of pandemic. The aim of this activity was to create awareness among the young students towards these inequalities and to sensitize students about the present situation. Also, we had World Disability Day. This day, we had a special assembly for this day. This day encourages people to be helpful and understanding of disabled people. The day also concentrates on keeping the dignity and respect of the disabled person intact. SSRVM-BE had celebrated World Disability Day on December 3rd, 2020 to spread the awareness, understanding, and accepting people with disability. Special presentations were made to staff and students to increase the awareness about few famous personalities who have achieved great heights in their lives in spite of their disabilities. And also we had Helpers Day celebration. Celebration, be it big or small, give us something to look forward to lift our spirits and help us recognize good things in life despite the pandemic having to stay away from each other. We in SSRVM celebrated Helpers Day 2020 to pay a small tribute to their commitment. We may not be able to celebrate the way we used to, but sharing small moments with helpers of our school meant a lot. The idea of celebrating this day is indeed a noble thought on part of our principal ma'am, who believes in the message of spreading love. Our helpers do their assigned job meticulously without losing their temper, and thus, without them, even for a single day, it would be a tough call for us. All helpers were invited to the school premises with all precautionary measures, and they were honored with gifts and were recognized for the contribution to the development of the school. We all just cannot imagine a single day without our helpers. And after the celebration, we had shared all these pictures and a report to all the students, just to even they should respect their helpers or people who are helping them, and they should know the value of people who are around us and whom we have to definitely respect them. Now coming to the 21st century skills. 21st century skills are the skills that are required by an individual for his or her holistic development, so that he or she can contribute to the progress and development of his society, nation, and world. 21st century skills broadly consists of three main skills. Now let us call it as three L's. That is learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. In the recent past, the board has been organized various activities for promoting various 21st century skills. Following are some of such activities introduced with the intention of enhancement of the skills and values. Storytelling competition, reading week, fast reading contest, Aryabhatta Ganit challenge, CBSE Heritage India quiz, science exhibition, expression series, eco club activities, Swachh Abhiyan, Ek Bharat Shresht Bharat, Rashtriya Ekata Divas, Inter-School Band Competition, Fit India School Week Healthy Lifestyle, CBSE Inter-School Sports and Games Competition, International Day of Yoga, Matrubhasha Divas, and the Constitution Day. Along with this, CBSE has also announced a creative and critical thinking weekly practice program to enhance critical and creative thinking and to generate curiosity in students by connecting learning with real life situations. Through this program, CBSE would share a set of 5 questions every week for the use of teachers as well as students. These questions are not necessarily related to the syllabus at hand. However, they connect to the overall learning of students in class 7th to 10th. These may be attempted by students of class 7 to 10, and it can be used in the following ways by the teachers. It can be used to engage the students. Students can be asked to attempt these questions as homework in consultation with their friends and family. The solutions can be discussed the next day or at the end of the week as per the convenience of the teachers and in a way that it promotes discussion. And this can also be used as an activity during the no bag day, as there is going to be a day which is called as no bag day or a zero period day, or even the activity period can be utilized. The user can access the Diksha portal to view these questions. Teachers should encourage participation of each child in some activity or the other. They must ensure that no child is left out from participation in activities organized by the board or at the class or school level or at inter-school level. The more we encourage them to participation, we get many participants. Students were asked to create a PPT on different dresses owned by people of different regions. Based on the lesson, the 100 dresses. As the current scenario is digital, they have shared the PPT with the teacher, and this activity has enhanced their brainstorming skills. And they have learned that communities have used clothes as a means to communicate status and celebrate important events and to show unity. We also had an activity. It was like a competition also, where students had to pursue advertisement activity. So they had to take their own product and they had to display their creativity by marketing their product and making their own advertisement the best. So we could see in this PPT, they had taken their own product and they had made a small poster or a pamphlet or a flyer as an advertisement, and they had did it to their best. And also we had one more activity, designing a poster on AI workshop by using styles and images and drawing tools, features of open office. Students had to use their creativity and technology to create an alternative poster using styles and formatting and imaging features in open office writer. So it was a digital poster which students had to do. The same way, there was one more topic taken, that was conversion of PowerPoint presentation to video. All these activities related to the technology was conducted in our technology club. So there was a topic, conversion of PowerPoint presentation to video. The ways to create the presentation with insertion and addition of video and to add narration with it was demonstrated. The way to compress the presentation that was done, and the way to save it as a video file was also explained. And children were excited to know the features which they can make use in their projects and presentations. Some children had even created their own videos with narration and have uploaded it. The idea behind this topic was to show them the way which is easily available on hand with most of them and which can be used in a better way to express their views and ideas. We also had one more app designing activity. We did introduce them to the app designing part. In this session, we oriented children about the way the designing of app can be done and the introduction of simple coding for the app to work. Students were very curious and excited to learn this method of designing their own app. So technology in the field of biology also, we do right now know how technology is used. So technology in the field of biology and mathematics also, during the pandemic, it is the technology which is helping us a lot in keeping our connectivity with students. Today, with few activities, we have demonstrated some applications of technology in the field of biology and mathematics. Through this activity, children were made familiar with various equipments or devices which makes our work easier in field of living world. Now, for example, if you take the RT-PCR test techniques for testing coronavirus, these insights will further enhance their understanding about the technology and could be precious input while they are making selections of their future profession. In this pandemic, children could not perform math physical activities, hence technology has helped them. And children are experiencing hands-on how to use GeoGebra, a website to understand theoretical concepts of geometry and algebra. Next, coming to the assessment part, the most important one, the written examinations. They are not the only way in which we evaluate our students. We should use assignments and activities also to evaluate, to assess if the students have understood the concepts properly. Students will have a 360-degree holistic assessment with the help of NEP 2020. NEP focuses on social behavior, emotional behavior, as well as ethics. Equal weightage is given to all these aspects and academics. This shift in approach will be reflected in the report card, which will be 360-degree holistic multi-dimensional report card that will cover students' progress across all domains. So here are a few criterias like how a child can be assessed. Child will have self-assessment, teacher assessment, and peer assessment too. CBSE has increased the weightage of MCQ questions and introduced case study questions. Case study questions are given in the form of paragraph or passage, which depicts a situation, followed by MCQs. These questions checks the comprehension, interpretation, and reasoning ability of the child. And a few rubrics will be given by the teachers. So when it comes to self-assessment, the child will have to assess themselves. And when it comes to peer assessment, the child will have to assess his peer. And also coming to the subject enrichment activities, any kind of activities, either in the form of public speaking, hands-on activity, projects, all these things falls in this category. Students are assessed based on their language skills, content, presentation skills, etc. These activities also help in enhancing the 21st century learning skills like critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, all these things. Coming to cross curriculum and art integration activities are also part of it. Observations are done based on the rubrics created for these activities. Rubrics are created based on the learning outcome. It helps in identifying the strengths or the weakness of the child, which in turn helps on focus on working on the areas of improvement. It also helps teachers to assess whether the expected learning outcome is achieved and do changes accordingly to suit the child's learning lifestyle. The National Education Policy 2020 has affirmed the need to move from rote to competency based learning, making it more focused on developing and creative and critical thinking capacities of students to meet the challenges of 21st century proactively. Augmenting the thrust towards CBE, that is capacity building, the board is initiating further corresponding changes in the examination and assessment practices for the year 21-22, that is the coming year. While the overall marks and duration of examination shall remain the same, change in the composition of assessment tasks would help us achieve the desired ends. Therefore, in the forthcoming sessions, a greater number of competency-based questions or questions that assess application of concepts in real life or unfamiliar situations will be part of the question paper. We should also maintain a portfolio of each child. What is a portfolio? Portfolio indicates the work done by the student. It measures the progress, growth, and achievement of a student. It includes the worksheets, assignments, projects, activity, which the student is a part of it. School and CBSE based certificates of several competitions, then achievements outside the school, or self-written articles or journals or poems, whatever, or what all the student has done, each child will have a portfolio. Coming to the most important thing, that is the rewards and role of parents. Learning doesn't stop at school. Parents are their first teachers and they have a key role in shaping up their character. Children need rules and limits. Negotiate the rules, discuss the consequences of breaking the rules clearly, and be consistent in following through with actions. Parents and teachers need to feel free to talk to their students about common problems like peer pressure, bullying, abusing. Discuss the good and bad points that drives them to take wrong steps out of curiosity. Help your child explore options for future plans, but do not make the decisions for him or her. They encounter a roller coaster of emotions. Parental support could turn out to be a lot of help. Spending quality time, listening without judgment, and understanding their emotional challenges will help them feel more secure and confident. Getting to know your child's friends show your child you understand how important these friends are. Good parent-child and teacher-student relationship tend to lead children to have positive relationship with peers. So being warm and supportive is very important. Staying connected and actively listening to your child can help them develop good friends. Now coming to the end of this session, I would just like to brief upon on a whole. It is evident that the National Education Policy of 2020 is looking to bring a shift in how we as a society perceive education and how it is imparted in schools across the country. To its credit, the NEP has outlined a detailed plan for the professional development of teachers going forward. On April 8th, 2021, the Education Minister has launched Sartak, which is a roadmap for the implementation of NEP for the next 10 years. This implementation plan manual will help us to get further clarity about NEP based on the guidelines received in this plan. We should start implementing NEP in all our schools. And I would like to thank once again for this wonderful opportunity and for being a great audience. I thank one and all who are present here today for giving me this opportunity and hope you all have some good insights to take from this session.
Hello. Jai Gurudev. Nilima ma'am is giving the vote of thanks. Please.
It was a knowledgeable session by Deepa ma'am and Aarti ma'am. On behalf of the entire SSRM family, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Commodore Harsha, Chairman of the Trust, to all the trustees and trust members. I also express my sincere gratitude to Ramaka for having arranged this workshop on NEP 2020. I extend my sincere thanks to all the principals, academic heads, coordinators, and teachers for lending their precious time today. Thank you, Deepa ma'am and Aarti ma'am. It was really an enriching session for all of us. Last but not the least, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the technical team for their wonderful support. Thank you, Jai Gurudev. Stay safe and have a great day.